When I first started self improvement, I had no clue what meditation even was. And the only conventionally self improvement activity that I actually decided to invest my time into was going to the gym. But other than that, I probably just watched Netflix shows and played video games for hours and hours on end during like the rest of my day and stuff like that. But recently, I've been meditating almost every day for like the last 2 to 3 months, and even before then, in like the autumn months and the winter months of like January, February, December, November, and stuff like that. I would still meditate every once in a while. But the fact is, now I've been getting better at it, and I've not only improved in my consistency with this habit, but I've improved in the length that I can actually do it. Before, I could only really do meditation for maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, but now I can do it for like 20 to 15 minutes, which is a massive increase when you consider how difficult meditation actually is. But effective meditating is like a whole different kind of ball game. But many people like to use apps and stuff to help like track their meditation, help track how long they're meditating and stuff. But me personally, I don't use any apps. Honestly, you can if you want, if you find that it's going to be a beneficial thing to you. But meditation is like a simple yet difficult activity. It can be explained in like one video, and then you can kind of go off and implement that habit for like the rest of your time. But before like you actually start to meditate, there's certain places where you should and shouldn't meditate. Personally, I don't think you should meditate on your bed. Like, wait, if you're lying down on your bed, I don't think you should meditate in that position because it kind of represents going to sleep. I think you should like probably meditate if you're like either lying on your floor, lying on like a floor, like on the grass, whatever, or sitting up in a chair. I don't think lying down in your bed is like a good way to meditate because it's kind of the same thing you do just like when you're trying to fall asleep, and it's effectively the same sort of thing. When you're like consciously starting to meditate while on your chair, while on the floor, it seems to just work better and become more effective. Now that's before you start, but when you're starting to meditate, what you want to do is you want to just start to breathe. Deep breathing, in through the nose, out through the nose, not in through the mouth or out through the mouth or whatever other kind of configuration there is. In through the nose and out through the nose. Many people would like to use kind of breathing rhythms. Many people say things like, oh, the 10-10 rhythm or whatever, but I personally like to use the 5-5-8 rhythm, which is 5 seconds of inhalation, then 5 seconds of holding your breath, then 8 seconds of exhalation. And you kind of just repeat that for as long as you can. Because eventually, what's going to happen is your mind is going to wander off because you're going to be quite focused on your breathing. You're going to really try to focus on the 5-5-8 or whatever rhythm that you decide to choose, or whatever rhythms on the app you choose, or whatever. You want to try to like focus on that breathing for as long as you can possibly do. And that may only last like 1 to 2 minutes before your breathing starts to get more shallow and your thoughts start to kind of wander off. And at this point, this is where the actual kind of point of meditation starts to come in. Because meditation would technically be ineffective and redundant if you just stayed breathing and focused on your breathing the entire time. The fact is, your mind will naturally wander off because it's hard to repress your thoughts in the kind of. It's hard to like repress and take a lot of note of your thoughts in the way that meditation actually kind of does it. But when your thoughts wander off like they kind of normally do within like the first 1 to 2 minutes, you want to refocus on the present moment and refocus back onto the breathing. You want to your mind will like wander off onto another kind of thought about your day or something that happened in the past or whatever you want to happen in the future. Your mind will wander off, and what you want to do is you want to bring it back to concentrate and focus on the present moment. Focus on like the feelings in your toes or like your feelings in your nose or something when you breathe. Focusing on the present moment, and then the cycle kind of continues. You'll be focusing on your breathing, using whatever breathing rhythm you've designed for yourself, and your mind will wander off again, and then you'll start to refocus back into the present moment. And that is essentially like plus 1 rep for the strength of your brain. And this is why I think you should meditate, because many people don't understand why people should meditate, but the fact is, when you meditate, when your mind wanders off and then you refocus on the present moment, it's essentially like a bicep curl or a bench press for the brain. It works the brain in it, like it works, it's like different kind of neurons and stuff like that, and it just almost strengthens your brain, and this is why you should meditate. But that's just like, it's quite simple, it's just plus 1 rep for almost the mental strength that your brain can possibly do, and reps over time are going to compound, And the more that you meditate, the more you will start to actually see like a proper impact on your mental strength and on your mental health. But there's another thing that you can also do to meditate that doesn't involve sort of breathing. And this is something that I used to do like when I was really, really young. My parents would like put on like a CD or something to like help me get to bed, and it would tell you to like lie in your bed, which obviously I don't recommend you do it like this, but you, if it's gonna help you get to sleep, then you are absolutely free to do that. And it would be like you're focusing on your senses, what you can touch, hear, feel, taste, smell, and you focused on your senses, you focused on what each part of your body kind of felt like in that present moment, and it would sort of like go up from your feet and up into like your head and stuff, where you'd focus on what each body part kind of felt like. And that's a kind of another way you can sort of to meditate, which is just focusing on your senses and stuff like that. And it's the same kind of thing sort of applies, because you may be focusing on how your feet feel, how your legs feel, and then your mind will kind of start to wander off onto any other odd thing, and then you want to bring it back into the present moment and start to focus on like your senses and stuff again. And that is essentially the basic process to meditating. You want to get like the one rep from either focusing on your breathing or focusing on your senses, and then your mind will wander off, but then you refocus and become mindful to your present moment and the present situation. And as I said, that is the basic process of meditating, and I highly recommend you start to do it, because as I said before, it's like plus one rep for the mental strength of your brain. So with that, I hope you found value out of this video. I hope you found value out of this quick guide to how to start meditating, as well as why to start meditating. And yeah, with that, I recommend subscribing, because I like this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. And good luck.